Hello arm wrestling fans, in this video we are going to discuss Devon versus Ongarbaev, Todd Hutchings versus John Brzenk actual practice pulling footage, Schoolboy calling out John, and finally Engin Terzi's final decision about the East versus West 10 David Samushia match. So let's start, and if you end up liking the video then please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Yesterday Ongarbaev was a guest on Engin's podcast to discuss his upcoming match against Todd Hutchings. When the topic of a possible future match against Devon was brought up, Ongarbaev said that his team, which consists of the Shardara Arm Sport Club and his coach, are already discussing this match. Engin also seemed excited about this because it's almost sure that he's the one who is going to be organizing this match at East versus West, because Devon wants that third title at 105 kg and do the unthinkable, do the unimaginable and impossible task. But in the past, Devon has called out Ongarbaev for a match at King of the Table as well. So sometimes Devon does some weird things, but most likely it will happen at East versus West. And I'm telling you now, that match is a nightmare for Ongarbaev. Usually you should not be scared of your opponent, but Ongarbaev will be. Maybe not before the match, but after the match. Because Devon is just going to stonewall him, look him right into the eyes and beat him with ease. That match is not close. Todd Hutchings is someone who has totally outclassed John's past opponent, his future opponent, and John himself. I'm talking about Irakli Zirakashvili and Sasho Andreev. Todd predicted John to beat Sasho. He thinks that John's cupping, his pronation and his side pressure are enough to win that match. And in fact, John practiced with Todd Hutchings yesterday to prepare each other for their upcoming matches at East versus West 10. This is the only footage that I can find. And it's interesting to see John arm wrestling in a hook. No one can beat Toddzilla in a hook. So obviously John had nothing for him there. But maybe this shows that John either wants to go in a hook against Sasho, or he knows that he will be forced in a hook and he won't have any other option. So better prepare for that. And the sad thing is that John's shoulder wasn't able to withstand Todd's side pressure, and it started creating that clicking sound once again, and John had to lay down. Sasho is going to put a similar pressure on John's shoulder. I hope it holds that day. If we talk about what Todd got from that practice, I think this footage doesn't show enough because there is no way Todd is going to hook Ongarbaev. But still man, imagine if Todd beats Ongarbaev. Then he's going to become the 105 kg title champion out of nowhere. Before the John Brzenk domination, nobody expected this from Todd. And later, he's going to crush whoever is the 95 kg champion between John and Sasho. So he's going to be the double champion. And all of the 4 titles from the topmost weight categories are going to belong to North America. And nobody could have guessed that just a few months ago. But that is going to happen only if Todd is able to beat the really difficult opponent Kidargali Ongarbaev. So recently in a pay-per-view, Schoolboy defeated Mike Ford with a clean sweep. And it wasn't close. Schoolboy was posing with the Malaysian overall champion. Few things about this event. The pay-per-view is available for about $5 to $7 depending on your location, and you can get it by clicking on the join button on Arm Wrestling TV YouTube channel. There's a video going around on the internet which shows a 70 kg guy beating Schoolboy. Well, that's half of the truth. Schoolboy beat everyone in a King of the Table format, basically the whole country of Malaysia, and then after that when he got tired, that's when that guy got the victory. But interesting stuff that he was pinning Schoolboy left-handed as well. And I don't think Schoolboy's left was that much tired. Maybe it's just weak because he recently had a bicep surgery, so it's about half of the size of his right arm. Schoolboy called out John Brzenk for a super match. I think next year this match is going to be really interesting. Till now, John may have too much hand for Schoolboy. In a hook, I think it's still close, but John will top roll Schoolboy. Next year, I think it's going to be a perfect match and it must happen either at King of the Table or maybe at East versus West, because it is an actual East versus West match. So let's talk about Engin Terzi. Yesterday, Engin Terzi practiced with Erkan Damar, who is the super heavyweight WAF Masters champion. He practiced with him for about 2 hours. Engin's arm felt strong, no pain, no any other issues, but his trap and shoulder muscles were hurting and the overall connection just wasn't there. I had to make a decision and I decided not to compete. But I will be back. Maybe if I rest 20 days, maybe I'll be okay. But how am I gonna be sure? What if 10 days later I realize I cannot do a replacement that close? I think the margin for error, or I should say margin for lack of preparation against Samushia, is basically zero for everyone. And it was also the case for Engin Terzi as well. So I think it's kind of a necessary decision. I'm not going to use the word wise decision because it may have the negative audio or negative tone to that. But I think it's a good decision. And Engin wouldn't have been in the shape to beat Samushia if he just rested for, let's say, 2 more weeks. Yes, he would have been fine, but those 2 weeks would have cost him a few percentage in his strength, and that would be disastrous. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.